Greetings. Today I'm going to talk to you about Tai Chi Walking. Every single one of my teachers up to this point in time has showed me this exercise. Each a little bit different, each in their own way. But since each and every one of them has shown me this, I feel it's very important to the practice of Tai Chi. And then through my own practice, I have found the importance of it. So I've done a ton of Tai Chi walking. Walk across the U.S. and back, right? So this is a really important exercise to learn how to do to inform your Tai Chi practice. Now, there's no one way of doing this, and there's a lot of different levels and ideas that we can work on in Tai Chi walking. So more than likely, I'm not going to cover everything, okay? There's going to be some things that might be kept in my pocket today. All right, so we're going to do the best we can to learn the basics and some of the subtleties of Tai Chi walking. Okay, so the first idea is to begin in your natural stance, right? Your Wuji posture. So this would be like you came out of preparation or just a very natural stance. Make sure the toes are forward, the weight is toward the heel. You're sitting down into the quad, relaxing the quad. You have the vertical center line, shoulders relaxed. Now, as far as what you want to do with your hands, I've been taught do Tai Chi walking here. I've been taught do Tai Chi walking here, all different directions. So wherever feels comfortable for you. I prefer to do my Tai Chi walking with my hands like this because then it helps me to have the structure of the body. So my arms are part of the structure. They're part of it without having a lot of movement. So I'm going to keep mine here, but wherever you feel comfortable, allow your arms to be part of the exercise. So the first thing we're going to do from our Wuji posture is take our center line and move it onto the left leg and sit down. So first we're going to work on the structure of Tai Chi walking. So what you want to do is turn the leg 45 degrees, no more, no less, right? A little bit less is okay. Don't turn more. Now move forward onto that leg. So this leg straight on this leg. Now I'm going to pull my back leg in without moving. Now what you want to do is you can do, one method is to use like a letter C and a letter D. So I'm taking that foot, circling it out, touching with the heel. And if you notice, my toe is pointing directly at you, my other toe is pointing out. This is important. Now you want to move forward and turn so that your belly button and your toe are in alignment, they're parallel. So both of them coming forward, so I don't want to be here. There's parts in the form we do that, but in Tai Chi walking, we want to end up here, okay? Now from here, you go straight back as if somebody's taking your waistband and pulling it back, or you can think of the Ming Men pushing backward. You want to move back and sit down. Let yourself sit down into the leg. Now without moving this knee, turn this leg. You can turn the pelvis, or you can just rotate this hip. So that foot is 45 degrees. Now move forward, turn in that direction. So now the belly button and toe are once again in alignment. Now this leg, pull it in. And now you're going to draw your letter C, touching with the heel. And if you notice, I didn't turn at this point. I still keep my belly button here and my knee here, but this foot is now here. So it's in this type of an angle. Now you come forward. Now turn facing forward. The back heel driving down is very important. It'll prevent you from going too far forward, which we'll look at in a minute. Now relax your back knee, and then as if you're pushing back your Ming Men. Sit down. Turn. So you want to turn from the hip. You can turn the whole pelvis if you want. Now forward. Sink, always settling. Now pull the back leg in. Circle the foot out, touching with the heel. Move forward. Turn. Back. Sit. Turn. Move forward. Bring the back foot in. Circle it out, touch with the heel. Move forward and turn. Okay, so this is one method of doing this. This is the basic idea. Okay, it's kind of a 5-step process. Now another way of looking at it, as opposed to circling the leg out, a very mechanical way, but if you do it this way, you will land in a good stance every single time, okay? So one of the methods that I like to use is coming back, turn the leg out, right? Turn the leg out, move forward, bring your leg in. So if you notice, my belly button and my weighted knee are here, but my other knee is also here. So everything is going in this direction, but I want to come in this direction. So what you can do is just open your hip, so now your knee is pointing in the direction you want to go. So you point the knee in the direction you want to go. You straighten your leg in that direction, and then as if there's something there, you want to push it to the side. You want to push it to the side with the side of your foot. So you point your knee, bring it out, push it to the side, drop the heel. Now, a common error is to point the knee and turn your foot out like this. So now I'm going to go in this direction as opposed to going forward. So you want to be very careful whether you're using the circular method or this mechanical method to not point your toe outward, that front foot. So when you come forward, you can point your knee the direction you want to go. Straighten the leg in the direction you want to go. Now push to the side, touch with the heel. Now you can come forward, and every time you'll be in a good stance. Now one of the ways to check the width of your stance is if you bring this foot straight back, it will not hit the other foot and you'll end up in a good stance. If you step out and you bring this foot straight back and it hits your other foot, you have too narrow of a stance. It's like standing on a tightrope, so you're not going to have good balance. At the same time, we don't want to step so far out. This stops us from being able to move. Okay, that's more stepping to the side. Okay, and if we were to do that, I would have to turn my foot. So you don't want to be too wide, don't want to be too narrow. We're always looking for that kind of middle space, right? But you never want your feet on the same line. Now when you come forward, when you step, so whether you use the circular method or the mechanical method, right? Either way is good. Once you get the mechanical method down, you'll stop using it, but it's a good way to really learn how to do this movement. When you are moving forward, don't think forward. Do not think forward. What you want to be doing is thinking down. You want to be thinking that you're being driven into the front foot, not past the front foot. And the reason why this is important, if I turn to the side, if I step out and I think driving this way, what I'm going to do is do this. And my knee is going to come beyond a 90-degree angle, which we do not want to do in Tai Chi. Plus my back heel is floating. So now I end up with this type of feeling. So when you're coming forward, as you come forward, you want to be thinking that you're being driven into the front leg. So every time you end up with this at a 90-degree angle to the ground. Okay, this is really, really important. Now, a couple of the ways of accomplishing that is as you move forward. So when you step, you want to be driving the back heel into the ground. So the back heel is going this way, and it's driving you this way. And if you keep driving that back heel into the ground, it'll almost act like a brake. It'll stop you from going too far forward. Plus, it'll give you this feeling of tearing, this yin-yang feeling of going back and forward at the same time. Give you the pung energy we're looking for in our Tai Chi, right? As opposed to this, which is only going in one direction. There's no yin-yang there. So you want to be driving here as you're sinking here, and it'll give you that very solid, stable feeling we're looking for. Another thing you can think of as you're coming forward is to only go until the weight gets right to the ball of the foot. If you go onto the ball of the foot, you've gone too far, and you'll end up with your knee like this. Puts a lot of pressure in the knee, you lose stability. And if you do that over and over again, which hopefully you do your Tai Chi form thousands of times, you keep pushing your knee, you're going to end up really having a problem with your knee. It's going to put a lot of pressure there, and over time, it'll be breaking down the knee instead of making the knee healthy. One of the things I say in Tai Chi is, Tai Chi done incorrectly will bother your knees, especially if you are predisposed to knee problems. But Tai Chi done correctly is the best thing you can do for your knees. Your knees should feel great when you get done doing Tai Chi. They should feel the energy moving through them, the blood moving through them. You should feel really good in your knees when you're done doing Tai Chi. If you do not, then you are doing something incorrect structurally. Okay, so these are really important factors. So let's take a look at this one more time from the beginning. So hands, I'm going to do it with my hands in front, vertical, sitting down in our Wuji posture. So we move to one side, turn. Move everything in that direction. Bring the leg in. Circling the leg out, making sure the toe is forward. But if you notice, nothing else moved here. The only thing I ever want to do when I step is sink. I don't want a turning action. So we can sink as we step. That's really what brings the leg out. Now we come forward, turn in that direction. I'm driving here, sinking here, and now the energy can come out through my hands if I wanted to. Now the way we go back, relax the back knee, push with the lower back, the Ming Men. Sit down. Turn without turning this leg. Now move forward. So we're pushing again, sinking. A very common error is to do this. Do not have this motion. It's always this motion. Never this, always this. Okay? So we're coming forward, sinking. Now, as I step, I sink again. Now forward, turn, driving into the ground. So this is relaxed. So you can come out here. Back, settle, turn, come forward. Remember, you're going to sink into the leg. And now when you step, sink. Forward, turn, sink. Okay? Be very careful. Now, some Tai Chi players do what I'm going to say not to do. If they have a reason for doing it this way, and they can prove that it's valid, I have no problem with that. But I'm going to tell you the way that I've been taught and the way that I found to be valid in my own practice, and there's purpose and reason behind it. So if your teacher does this differently, don't say you're doing it wrong, right? Because maybe they have a very valid reason for doing this. Personally, I do not like this type of a stance, okay? This collapsed feeling, right? You're collapsing in this condition. So as you're driving the heel down, you can almost feel like there's a pebble here, and you're pushing this pebble out. You don't want to do it hard like that, just an idea. So it's like you're pushing something, something's here, and you're shooting it out by driving the heel and pushing the knee back. Now, if you notice, I don't lock my leg, right? So there's a little bit of a bend. It's called a bow stance for a reason, right? So this is a bow shape, but it's not, that's not bow shape either. This is no more bow shape than that is, right? So we have to have the sense of a bow, but there's got to be structure here. So it's not moving anywhere. I'm here, I'm going to do this, right? Again, some people practice this way, valid. I have no problem with it. I personally don't practice that way, and I don't teach that way. So it's really, you make the decision in your own practice. So let's look at this one more time. Okay, so this is the basics of Tai Chi walking. As I said at the beginning of this segment, there are many other factors involved here. There's things like drilling. There's many other ideas here that come into play. There's the idea of open and close that comes into play, drilling that comes into play. We're not going to get into that today. If you watch some of my other videos, I do have one on drilling. Maybe today I'll do one on open and close. So anyway, I hope you found this useful. And until next time, have a great day.